In the far north of Europe, stretching from the shores of the Baltic almost to the very top of the world, lies a long and beautiful land of deep forests, shining lakes, and endless summer light, Sweden. Home to around 10.5 million people, this is the largest country in Scandinavia, a place of Viking sagas and the midnight sun, of glittering design and quiet, orderly calm. It is the home of IKEA, of ABBA, of Volvo, and the Nobel Prize. It is a nation of innovators and dreamers, of forests and islands, where a love of nature runs deep in the national soul. This is Sweden, seen from above. Welcome to Aerial Atlas. Sweden covers around 450,000 square kilometers, a long, slender country running nearly 1,600 kilometers from north to south, so long that the north lies deep in the Arctic while the south enjoys gentle, almost continental warmth. Along its eastern side lies the Baltic Sea, fringed with thousands upon thousands of rocky islands and skerries. Inland, the country is blanketed by vast pine and spruce forests and dotted with nearly 100,000 lakes, among them Vänern and Vättern, two of the largest in all of Europe. In the west rise the mountains along the Norwegian border, and in the far north stretches the Arctic wilderness of Lapland, a land of reindeer, iron ore, and dancing northern lights. Its capital is Stockholm, one of the most beautiful cities in the world, built across 14 islands where a great freshwater lake meets the open sea. Often called the Venice of the North, it is a city of shimmering water and graceful bridges, of grand palaces and the perfectly preserved medieval old town of Gamla Stan, with its narrow cobbled lanes and ochre-colored houses. Beyond the city spreads a breathtaking archipelago of some 30,000 islands, scattered like jewels across the Baltic. Here, too, lies the famous Vasa, a mighty 17th-century warship raised whole from the harbor floor. Clean, elegant, and green, Stockholm sits gracefully between forest and sea. Above all, Sweden is a land of nature. Forests cover more than half the country, and the Swedes treasure them deeply. Here there is an ancient right, the allemansrätten, the freedom to roam, the freedom to walk, camp, and forage almost anywhere in the wild, so long as you respect the land. In summer, the northern sun barely sets, bathing the country in endless golden light, while families escape to little red cottages by the water. And in the dark of winter, the skies above the north blaze green and violet with the dancing aurora. Few peoples on earth live so close to the natural world, or guard it so carefully, recycling almost everything and racing toward a clean and green future. In the Arctic north lies Lapland, the homeland of the Sami, the indigenous people of the far north. For thousands of years they have herded reindeer across this vast frozen landscape, following the ancient rhythms of the seasons. This is the land of the great iron mines of Kiruna, of endless snow-covered forest, and of the famous ice hotel, sculpted anew from ice and snow every single winter. And through the long polar nights, the shimmering curtains of the northern lights ripple across the sky in green and rose and violet. One of the most spectacular sights in all the natural world, drawing travelers from every corner of the planet. Sweden's story is long and dramatic. 1,000 years ago, these were the lands of the Vikings, Norse seafarers, traders and warriors who sailed east along the great rivers of Russia, deep into the heart of the medieval world, reaching as far as Constantinople and beyond. Later, in the 1600s, under warrior kings like Gustavus Adolphus, Sweden became a great European power, ruling a proud empire around the Baltic Sea. And then, for more than 200 years now, this old warrior nation has chosen a different path entirely, living in remarkable, unbroken peace, neutral through the storms of 2 world wars, and earning a reputation as one of the world's great voices for diplomacy and human rights. Today, Sweden is famous the world over for design and innovation. This small country gave the world IKEA, and with it a whole philosophy of clean, simple, functional, and affordable beauty. It is the home of Volvo and Scania, of Ericsson and Electrolux, of the fashion giant H&M, and of the music streaming colossus Spotify. It even gave us Minecraft, one of the best-selling video games ever made. Swedish design, minimal, elegant, and democratic, together with a deep culture of engineering, safety, and invention, has made this one of the most innovative and inventive nations anywhere on the entire planet. At the heart of Swedish life lies a gentle philosophy, lagom, meaning just the right amount, not too much, not too little, but balanced, moderate in content. And there is fika, the sacred daily ritual of pausing for coffee and a cinnamon bun with friends and colleagues. From the painted wooden Dala horse, the beloved national symbol, to the flower garlands and maypoles of midsummer, to the candle-lit processions of St. Lucia in the dark of December and the joyful crayfish parties of late summer, Swedish culture treasures togetherness, tradition, simplicity, and a deep, abiding love of the natural world. Sweden is also, astonishingly, one of the greatest music nations on earth. This is the country that gave the world ABBA, one of the best-selling pop groups of all time, whose songs are still sung and loved in every corner of the planet. But it hardly stops there. From Roxette to Avicii, from world-conquering songwriters who quietly craft the hits of global superstars to the streaming revolution of Spotify itself, Sweden is, pound for pound, one of the largest exporters of pop music anywhere. A tiny northern nation that has shaped the very sound of modern music far, far beyond its size. And every December, the eyes of the world turn to Stockholm for the Nobel Prize. Established by the Swedish chemist and inventor of dynamite, Alfred Nobel, these are the most prestigious awards on Earth, honoring the greatest achievements in physics, chemistry, medicine, literature, and the cause of peace. Each year, in a glittering ceremony in Stockholm's great concert hall, followed by a magnificent banquet in the city hall, Sweden celebrates the very best of human knowledge, creativity, and humanity, a tradition that has crowned the brightest minds of the world for well over a century. Sweden is famous, too, for the kind of society it has built. It is one of the world's model welfare states, prosperous, equal, and remarkably well organized, with a deep commitment to fairness, to education, to nature, and to the environment. Healthcare and university are open to all, parents share generous leave to raise their children, and the gap between rich and poor is among the smallest anywhere. Consistently ranked among the happiest, healthiest, and best places to live on the entire planet, Sweden blends a cool Nordic reserve with a warm, collective belief in looking after one another. And then there is football, which Sweden loves with a quiet but burning passion. The national team, the Blågult, the blue and yellow, famously finished as runners-up at the World Cup they themselves hosted back in 1958. From the brilliant golden generations of the past, to legends like Henrik Larsson, to the towering, unforgettable figure of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Sweden has long punched far above its weight on the world stage. Proud, organized, and never to be underestimated, this small northern nation dreams once more of the greatest stage of all, marching steadily on towards 2026. A long northern land of forests and lakes, of Vikings and design, of ABBA, IKEA and the Nobel Prize, of the midnight sun and the dancing northern lights. That was Sweden from above. If you enjoyed the journey, subscribe. Here on Aerial Atlas, we fly over a new country every single day.